Greetings.
Okay, we're
Okay, we're
live. Have a
live.
great reading. Have a great show.
I'm an old tomcat, just rode into your town. Ain't none of these cats gonna turn me down. I'm an old tomcat, just rode into your town. Said I can make you purr if you let me stick around. I was born in a box in the alleyway. Never had no daddy, yeah, my mama was a stray. I was born in a box down in the alleyway. I got the whole world in my palm. I ain't to keep it that way. All right, baby. Old tomcat, baby, rolling into your town every night. Now, let me spend the night. Let me spend the night. If I see another dirty old tomcat, this gonna be an awful fight. Said I retract my claws, try to pass a plea. I sent him to the veterinarian today. Claws sharp as a blade. I got the whole world in my paws. I aim to keep it that way. Now these queens just won't let this old tomcat rest. Say none of these queens let this old tomcat rest. When it comes to making them purr, they say that I'm the best. Baby can't be my boss. I don't care what you do, you'll never be my boss. Cause the tomcat's a rolling stone, he don't gather no more.
I think you and I need to form a band. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. You know what
Yeah,
that
that is a
reminded me of?
lot of fun. That is the Vaudevillians, people. That
Mhm.
is the Vaudevillians.
You know what
Check
that reminded me of while I was
to
laughing?
have you visit their channel. And of
Yeah,
course, we love promoting them here
sure.
on Hot Topics Thursday
Mhm.
at the Oracle of Whimsy.
Yeah. I was
Those are the
laughing.
Vaudevillians. The Vaudevillians.
Yeah.
Please check them
They
out.
reminded me of a woman named Lucille Bogan who did that type
Hmm.
of music back in the 1920s, only she did very X-rated lyrics. I
Well, I
mean,
think.
really X-rated.
Well, I mean, Tom Katz is basically a gigolo.
Yeah.
So that's what the song was, sweetie.
Is that what it's about?
He was going from house to house. Let me in.
Ooh.
I'm a tomcat,
Meow
and it's like,
meow.
but if I show up, there better not be another Tom there. That's what the song was about. It was about a man that was going to ladies' homes and
Oh.
supplying sexual favors. Meow.
Yeah, kitty kitty.
And she, you know what? She is very sexual. You know the way she touches
Mhm,
herself, and
mhm.
he's like, "I'm a tomcat." Oh yeah, you're gonna purr. You know, like it has that very sexual thing happening between
Mhm.
they're a couple
Yeah.
and they've been together for many many years. But I really love the Vaudevillians, and we've had them. We've opened the show with the Vaudevillians a couple times now, and I'm happy to
Yeah, we
promote
have.
them.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Well, how
I'm
have
glad.
you been, my love? How have you been?
Well, I've been doing pretty good, posting stuff on my channel, learning editing. You just graciously gave me a tutorial before the show. I'm trying to perfect my skills, and I'm doing my artwork and loving life. How about you?
Busy, busy, busy. I
Yeah.
put up a pick a card today. I think we will probably be bringing back a little bit of the political stuff. I needed a
Okay.
break.
Yeah.
I needed a break. I just
We
couldn't
both did. I think
talk.
we all
I
did, truthfully.
I couldn't talk about Trump. I just couldn't. God bless everybody.
Hmm.
But maybe we'll go back to doing a little bit of it. It's up to them. They rule us.
Hmm.
The audience
Well,
owns us. But I think that a lot
in
of
a good
people.
way, in the best way. Yeah.
But I look at the political readers, and they're doing great. They're getting 35, 40, 50 views.
Yeah.
So clearly there's a need for this. But
There is, but we had some very meaningful discussions in Europe, especially in Rome. When we'd sit and eat breakfast, and we talked about how we wanted to bring people up. We want our show to be much more uplifting and positive. Get away from all
yeah,
that negativity, because in many ways it's like poison.
Yeah, I do think that there is a lot going on politically, though, that we probably should cover because it does affect people's lives.
Yeah.
There's a growing unhappiness, for example, in the Republican Party right now. We have to
Oh,
acknowledge that, it has,
long overdue.
I think it's long overdue, but I think it's also that a kind of civil war has broken out in the
Yeah.
Republican Party, and the Senate is finally saying no to Trump. But
Yes. And we saw that. We saw that in a lot of our earlier readings. There was going to be a civil war
that
amongst
they're
the
going to have to cut the head off the beast, that the only
Republicans.
way to get rid of Trump is if it can't be done by the Democrats, because we know human nature. As soon as somebody comes after somebody you voted for, immediately you start attacking them, and
Yeah.
no, you double down. So the more that the Democrats attack Donald Trump, the more that the Republicans become defensive. We're going to stand by our man, and you
Hmm.
libtards, right?
Hmm.
So if
Been
anybody
called that a few times.
Right. So if anybody is going to take down Donald Trump, it has to be people within the Republican Party themselves.
Yes.
It
And
has.
we've known that. We've known that for quite a while.
And one of the things that I've been noticing is that Iowa has really broken from Trump. And I think that there's something about the people of Iowa where they're just very real people. They're very salt of the earth in Iowa.
Yeah.
They're farmers. Maybe I should move to Iowa. It sounds like my kind of people over in
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah.
And
Trying to think if I've ever been to
the
Iowa.
the primaries start in Iowa, but
Yeah, they do. I was just going to say that. They always start with the Iowa primary.
yeah, and Trump actually went after that woman from the Iowa newspaper who said that he was losing support in Iowa and might lose the state of Iowa. So part of his enemies list was the reporter out of Iowa.
Really?
And I thought that was kind of interesting because Iowa reporter that Trump went after said he would lose Iowa. Does anybody remember what her name was?
I can't think of it offhand.
I can't remember either, but yeah. So basically, what happened? If I was on X, I would probably be able to know this because Grok can find things pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he went after her because during she said that there was a good chance that he was going to lose because he couldn't take Iowa. Well, he did win Iowa, and a lot of people question whether or not the election was stolen.
Yeah.
By that Musk had the results pretty early. There was a lot of strange things that happened in that election, and it makes you wonder who's in charge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Rachel Scott. He went after
Rachel Scott. Okay.
He went after ABC News senior political correspondent Rachel Scott.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I recall that.
He went after a couple people. He went after
Wasn't she the one he called Piggy? Or was that another woman reporter? It was so degrading.
Local reporter said he would lose. Now I'm curious about who she was because she went on his enemies list. But again, it goes back to this idea that I really think it's ultimately Ann Seltzer, longtime pollster for the Des Moines Register.
Okay.
According to her polls, she felt like because he had disenfranchised himself from female Iowa voters and that he wasn't carrying the female vote. And her polls came that it was 47% Harris with 44% Trump. So, did he steal the election? Because he threatened her. And when when you've been exposed, that's kind of what happens, is that you start getting threatened. But yeah, he went after her. So, I want to take a break a little bit from politics, but it was Ann Seltzer. Yeah. My point is that we can go back to those sorts of things if that's what people want, if it's relevant for what's going on right now. And the reason that I bring it up today, and I wasn't going to talk politics today, but I felt the need to mention this, is because we are seeing that split starting to happen in the Republican Party. But it's just like too little too late, don't you think?
It certainly seems that way. It just seems like the tide for the Democrats is unstoppable at this point, unless there is some major cheating of some kind. But I think it's over for the Republicans. I think we have known that for quite a while in our own readings. It's been very obvious. From Nancy Potter Johnson, 3454, I am from Iowa. Trump has bankrupted the farmers. I think they have finally had it with him. I have two cousins who are grain farmers, corn and soybeans. These are family-run generational farms. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of stories like this, farmers across the country.
Yeah, and I think
who were big supporters of Trump for the most part.
I think that a lot of Republicans think that they're going to be slaughtered in the midterms, and that's why we're starting to see the beginning of the end.
Well, it's also like the rats fleeing the sinking ship.
Yeah, that was something else that we saw happening. We saw it happening when he lost to Biden, and now we're seeing it happening again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I keep thinking about Musk and Trump letting it slip that they more or less rigged Pennsylvania.
Yeah. They definitely messed with Pennsylvania. Well, Pennsylvania was always Pennsylvania and Michigan were always on the fence because you had a large population of disenfranchised blue-collar people who had lost a lot of jobs under Clinton because Clinton had sent jobs overseas in NAFTA. And so there was a bitterness, and people thought, this is what the Democrats did to us. The Democrats sold us out with NAFTA. And so now we're going to go over to this new wave of Republicans that cares about the working man, which of course is absurd because Donald Trump never cared about the working man. So it is what it is.
Anybody, frankly.
Yeah. So we just want people to know that Chuck and I are not going to give up on politics entirely. It's just that we want to move away from so much negativity and more towards trying to empower people.
Sure.
And we felt like we were in the wrong direction there for a while.
Well, I did feel that way, definitely. Well, it's just like, maybe this is an analogy, a restaurant. You change things on the menu according to what the people want. So, maybe if people want this, maybe you and I can find more positive ways of spinning this, of looking at these news stories. Like, how can we take something that's distressing and make it uplifting?
Yeah, and I think for me, the uplifting thing is that we, the people, will rise. The people took down Rome. Rome fell. The Colosseum is no more eating Christians at the Colosseum, right? Gosh darn it, that was a lot of fun, but those days are gone. right?
Terrible. Why am I envisioning people throw their popcorn and
Yes,
I
wolf
shouldn't joke
nipple
about that.
chips, wolf nipple chips. Yes,
We shouldn't joke about that.
yes. But so all things must pass,
Mm-hmm.
as George Harrison said. All things must pass, and we'll get right again. We will center
Oh, we
ourselves.
will. I
The
devoutly
people
believe that.
rise up, and we will take our power back. We will get our country back. I truly believe that. We
I
survived the
know that.
Civil War. We
I
survived the
know that.
Civil War. We will survive this.
Again, we have seen that over and over consistently in our readings. This is happening.
Mhm.
I talk to a lot of your clients on the phone across the country. I hear this spirit in people, this determination, this empowerment. I devoutly believe we're rising up. And Rose Blue 4205 45 acts like Caligula. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Well, Chuck, why don't you
Yeah.
go ahead? Let's turn the camera around and let's say hi to
Turn the
everybody that
camera
was
around.
kind enough to join us. We're going to talk a
Yes.
little bit for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to blitz away after that.
Okay.
Of course, if you have personal questions, we can answer those as well. Or if you have political questions, we will let you guys bring them back in. We don't want
We'll
people
bring
to
them back.
feel- We'll bring them back because that's what people want. We just felt like it was
Yeah.
starting to get really, really negative. But now I'm
No.
getting, why also why it's not just that it's what the people want. I'm starting to get curious about midterms. I'm starting to get that
We're getting tantalizingly close.
it's, Chuck, it's like smelling a filet mignon. When you haven't eaten all day and you're at Ruth's Crisp Steakhouse and you're with your best buddy Chuck and you got that filet mignon medium. Is it, how do you like it, Chuck? Medium or medium rare? I took him for steak on his birthday. Well. Really? I went. I remember I took you for steak dinner on your birthday. We won't say on his 29th birthday. That's right.
Yes, my 29th. Yeah.
Yes, and Meghan Markle's her bachelorette party was going on.
That's right. Yes, it was. We're not going to name the restaurant, but it was on the Sunset Strip.
That's right, and
it was a Western theme. Yeah.
Her sorority sisters. So she, did she go to Caltech? Where did she go that she had sorority sisters? Do you remember?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
What was Caltech or UCLA? I can't remember. But anyway, Megan's sorority sisters got together and they had a bachelorette party for her in West Hollywood.
And we were there.
We attended.
We weren't invited, but we were there.
Well, we know they brought us cake. Remember?
Oh, that's right. They did. Oh, I forgot all about that. I thought that was just because of my birthday.
Yeah, they all wore evening gowns. They were women who had been part of her sorority. They were wearing tiaras and evening gowns, and they were riding the bull in evening gowns and drinking cocktails and saying, and they were going on camera saying, "We love you, Megan. We're so happy for you, Megan.
You and I resisted."
Girl. And they were and then they were falling off the bull. And we sat there, and Tawny was there. Wasn't it Tawny?
Tawny was with us also. Yes.
Yeah, so it was Chuck, Tawny,
and you were doing tarot readings for us.
Oh, good. I like that.
Yeah.
And we were having dinner, and then everybody was happy. And then they sliced the cake, and then the waiter came and he said, "I'm so happy. I'm so happy." I said, "Well, why are you happy?" He said, "I don't know why, but I am here to have some cake." And he came and brought us some cake. So that was great. Well, why don't you go ahead and say hi to people? I'm going to go grab my gong. Yeah.
Okay. We were wise enough not to get on the bull. That we did not do. No. But anyway, we have with us Ann Coleman, 6064, Gigi Pardo Lord. Do I need to give the numbers here? 2372. Jess Miskey, hello, my friend. Melinda Hayden, Colleen Rieger, Amherst, Sally Mablion, 64. Brenda Rakestraw, Nancy Potter Johnson, 3454, Rebecca L, 135, The Sybil, 5D, Rose Blue, 4205, Renee Ament, Donna Williams. Let's see. Desire 35 Abel. Great names here. Let me keep scrolling here. Daughters of the Sun. Like that. Never Too Late to Dream. I've always loved that name, and I agree with it. And Raymond D. Pasquas.
Hi, Raymond. Always good to see you here.
Hi. Donna Roberts, George Fleming. Trying not to repeat names here. Let me keep going down here a little bit more. Deb P9J, Kaloa SF, who says aloha to us from Hawaii, obviously. Let's see. Lolan Noble, 8653.
Good to see you here.
Yeah, good to see you all here. We're happy to have you. Tennis is a Thanga. I hope I said that right.
Oh, wow.
I try my best.
We'll
Thomas Savoy.
Yeah, well, we'll keep saying hi to everybody as they come along.
Yeah.
And of course, Chuck, today we are talking about a really interesting subject that I think doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
Today, the main conversation we're having has to do with our ancestry. And this is something we want you to think about as you do your meditation work, as you try to heal your life. We want you to, in the meditative state, put yourself in the shoes of the generation before you. So, for example, say you're a woman and you have struggled because you had certain difficulties in your life. The next challenge we want you to think about is to put yourself in the shoes of what it was to be your mother. So that, that was not too long ago, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. What was the life of our mother like? Well, she didn't have access to birth control pills, if you're my age. She didn't have access to the right to divorce. She didn't have the right to go to the universities. Yale was not opened up to women until 1967.
You're describing my mother.
Yeah. And, it's interesting. Hillary Clinton, when she was applying to get into medical school, there were men there that were law school. People were very stressed out when they were taking that exam to try and get into law school.
Yeah.
And one guy said, "Why are you here? Why are you here? You don't belong here. Don't you understand that if we don't get in, we're going to Vietnam?"
Well, I think something like that was said to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So someone said to her, "Don't you realize you're taking the spot of a man who deserves to have this?" Wasn't that actually said to her?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
When we think about who our mother was, if we just meditate on who she was, everything that my mother wanted to be, my mother wanted to travel. She wanted to get away. And instead she kept getting pregnant. She kept winding up in these abusive relationships. And then she couldn't get away from not being able to leave an abusive man, because as soon as you move and apply for welfare, the authorities tell the abusive husband, "Oh yeah, she's on 32nd Street. Do you need do you need the keys to get in?"
Like their property.
Yeah. So
like
So my mother tried to get away from abusive relationships all the time, marriages that didn't work out. And as soon as she would apply for welfare, they would contact the husband, and he would go and beat the crap out of her and drag her back. And so by today's standards, we would say that many of us had wives that were technically hostages. In the technical sense of the word. If a guy is holding you and not letting you physically leave the house, you are a hostage. If you try to get away and he drags you back, if he threatens to kill you, if he threatens to kill the kids, then you are technically a hostage. And I think what is difficult for a lot of people today is that we are going backwards, back to the times when, you see what's happening in
Republicans have been accused of that.
Yeah, well, you see what's
women
happening.
To be back in the 1950s again.
Yeah, no rights. This is what's happening in Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
Women, it used to be a progressive country. Iran used to be a progressive country. Now they're all beat them into submission under my thumb, woman. My boot on your neck, back in burqas. And it's terrifying when you see countries like Qatar, which has put 6.5 billion into higher education because the
Yeah.
US government no longer pays for higher education. We'll just let the country of Qatar. Well, the country of Qatar has horrific standards when it comes to women's rights. And they're basically, calling for the extermination of the Jews. So
Mhm.
you really don't want a country with that kind of human rights policy taking over secondary education and
Yeah.
universities in the United States. So we are going backwards.
Yeah, I just can't help think, I've said many times, my mother was a very angry, volatile woman, and it used to terrify me as a child. But I realized a lot of my mother's anger, I look back on it, she was like an animal in a cage. She like pacing back and forth. If you've ever seen an angry panther in the zoo, my mother was like that, just always angry. Littlest thing would set her off. And I think it's because she never got to be who she really wanted to be. She had all this power in her soul and she never got to express it, except as a housewife and a mother, and she wanted a much bigger life than that, but it wasn't available to her. And also society of where we were living, Virginia, the South, you didn't get divorced. You just stuck with someone to the bitter end. My father was a very good, decent man, but I think my mother, she fell out of love with him. She wanted to move on, but she didn't feel she could. So hence all the anger. And then that got filtered down to myself and my sister.
Right. So then you look at your mother's situation. She wanted to go to New York and be an actress, maybe, or
I think
all
she did.
all of the things that she wanted to do. And she wanted to have fun and she wanted to sparkle. We always say sparkle before the show starts. And she was beaten down. So then you have to go back another generation and say, well, what was going on with her mother? What was going on with your mother's
I've got
mother?
horror stories about her.
Do you feel comfortable
Do you
sharing
want me?
it?
Well,
Yes,
do you really
please.
want me?
Yes,
Some of these
because
are,
we're talking about how we are programmed by our ancestors.
this is
we carry the weight of our ancestors.
this is a very dark story, and I've told it to you. But this was in the 1940s. My mother had me late in life, but my sister. This was when she was pregnant with my sister in 1946, 8 months pregnant. Her mother was in the psychiatric ward of a hospital. And my father came to visit her. And keep in mind, this was the days before security cameras, any kind of real security like you would have now. And they came to visit her. She had gone down into the kitchen and stolen one of those big psycho butcher knives and put it under her mattress. And when my mother and father came to visit her, my mother, 8 months pregnant, she tried to stab her in the stomach with the butcher knife. That's a true story. I was not told that story until after my mother passed away. Yes.
So then you want to go back further and say, well, what happened to your grandmother that turned her into that person?
Yeah. Well, there's so little I know about her because she died before I was born, but I've heard secondhand stories that she was manic depressive. She tried to commit suicide several times. Hence, that was one of the reasons she was in the psychiatric ward. I think she tried to jump off of a railway, one of those big railway overpass bridges. She tried to do that. There were rumors that she had aborted. She was a farm wife. There were rumors she had aborted several of her own children. My mother was an only child that she had late in life. And sometimes I've just wondered if that was a failed abortion.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I hate to say that, but I've often speculated on that.
Well,
but
if she was
I wonder if my mother was not
if she
wanted.
was mentally ill and no access to birth control, that was really the only birth control they had. And
it was common amongst farm wives.
Yeah.
It's not talked about, but it was done.
Imchurst has talked about the fact that her mother was fortunate enough to go to Rice in 1945. Highly unusual that females got, most females, the best they could hope for by going to college was finding a good husband and being a diplomat's wife or having all this education. But there were few, Vassar or these sorts of places, they did allow women into some universities, but often it was as legal secretaries or, but they never were the boss. They were working for the boss. And if they were lucky, they would marry the boss.
Now, I did have an aunt who went to Columbia University in the 1930s and went on to be a college teacher.
I thought Columbia didn't allow females. They had Barnard College. Barnard was the female college.
I'm pretty sure it was Columbia.
I
Columbia
thought
she went to. I'd have to look into that, but
I think Barnard was Columbia's female section was Barnard.
Maybe that's what it was. See, I was always a kid. I was always told Columbia, but maybe.
Yeah, well, it is Columbia, but that we were, I think we were barred from when were women let into
I'm not
Colombia?
sure. I do know it was rare for a woman in those days to have higher education like that. I was always very proud of my aunt. She was a remarkable woman.
Yeah. But Barnard was the female college. Women were allowed women were permitted for the first time into Columbia in 1983. So we were barred
Really?
from
Okay.
Columbia until 1983.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
1983, that's astounding.
Yeah. So it was, So she went to Barnard, which was
Okay.
Columbia's women's college. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. She always told me Columbia.
It is Columbia. It is
Yeah.
Columbia, but
Yeah.
The actual campus,
Mhm.
it is a form of apartheid that I think is really hard for us to connect
Mhm.
with in the 21st century. But when you go out and you look out at the world today for women, you see that apartheid is alive and well in many parts of the world. For example, you're expected to wear a burqa when you walk out of your house in Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And if you're a female walking without a male accompaniment, you're basically announcing that you are a prostitute. That is, one of the complaints of women working in markets in Pakistan, in Islamabad, and some of these markets is that they are poor. They have to go out and work. They have
Mhm.
no choice. They've got to sell the apples or whatever.
Mhm.
And they are constantly being sexually assaulted because the assumption from the men in the market is, oh, you must be a prostitute because you're not at home in a burqa. So poor women who cannot afford to live off the money of their husbands, who are forced to work, are
Mhm.
often sexually abused in cultures where women are expected to be in burqa. And we see the same phenomenon in Egypt. Egypt used to be a Coptic Christian country. It's fallen to Islam, and the standards of women has slid in Egypt, with 80% of women in Upper Egypt experiencing circumcision and fibulation.
Oh God.
So 80% of the females in Egypt don't have genitals. Think about that. 80% of females
80%.
in Upper Egypt do not have genitalia. They've had their genitals
Oh.
surgically removed. Same with the Sambora people, right, of Kenya, right? The Sambora also genital circumcision and fibulation. So
Yeah.
the reason why we're having this conversation is there's a lot of disinformation in the New Age movement, and a lot of the New Age movement has been about bashing victims of violence, blame the victim, and the victim is the most vulnerable. The person becomes a victim not because it was their karma, but because they were the most vulnerable. So a child who doesn't have parents to protect them is the most vulnerable, and predators. You look at a predator in the savannah looking for something to hunt. It's going to go for the wounded. It's going to go for the baby elephant that isn't protected by the herd. So if you're vulnerable, the predators are coming. The purpose of this experiment to think about your ancestors is to understand that everything that happened to you was the product of countless generations that happened before you that constructed the life you currently live today. And we want to be less on automatic. We want to be less on automatic. My mother was born in the Salvation Army home for unwed mothers in Wichita, Kansas, because something happened to her mother, whether it was consensual or not consensual. I think it may have not been consensual. She was a poor woman. She was working in Missouri. Poor woman. Something happens. A guy just takes it. He wants to have sex with his maid. He just comes and takes it. Right? There's nothing you can do if you're a poor maid working for a rich man in the house, and you wind up. So you go off to Wichita to have the child.
Yeah.
My grandmother drank herself to death on Skid Row in Kansas City, Missouri. But she was constantly getting pregnant, right? She was constantly getting pregnant. So she had these babies, some of which had disabilities. So they wound up being scattered in all these homes. She just scattered them, right? So she would go to marry a guy, but he'd be an alcoholic. So he would beat her. So she would flee back onto Skid Row. The emotional trauma she hid in drink, right? So then what happens to the child that was born in the Salvation Army home for unwed mothers. Child winds up in foster home, gets thrown around like trash, unprotected because your mother wasn't so your grandmother wasn't protected, and now she has a child who's not protected. So what happens to that child that's born in the home for? She winds up in foster care. Then she gets. So what happens to a foster kid? They get molested. They get raped. She got pregnant at 13. My mother got sexually assaulted at 13. So what happened? She goes to a home for unwed mothers and starts having babies at 13. Then what happens? She starts drinking. Then she gets involved in a domestic violence situation. She became a hostage. She's trying to escape. She winds up with all these babies, no birth control. Then what happens to me? I am born vulnerable. Mother can't take care of me. She's trying to escape domestic violence. I wind up in foster care. Now you have a second generation foster child. Then I try to go get some help for myself. And these retarded people, I'm sorry if that's offensive, you're idiots in the New Age movement who should be gagged, quartered, execute, just get off YouTube. But you have these idiots that are part of the New Age movement that fill your head with a lot of nonsense. Oh, you picked it. You chose it. It's your karma.
Yeah.
That's all bullshit. You are the product of your ancestors.
Yeah.
You were in that situation because your mother was in that situation. She was my grandmother was a vulnerable adult. My mother was a vulnerable adult. I became a vulnerable adult. You have three generations of vulnerable adults.
Yeah.
And I realized that when I was healing my life, I wasn't just battling what happened to me. I was battling what happened to me, what happened to my mother, what happened to my grandmother, my great-mother. That set up a series of events.
My sister and I have had this conversation many times about our mother, her mother, and we never even knew where the lineage went beyond that. But obviously there was a lot of damage being passed down the generations. I just wanted to say it's such poison to instill into a child, an innocent child. And in my reading, I read something that really struck me. Children absorb emotional trauma long before they consciously understand it. They absorb it. Yeah. And I think certainly we've talked to our own personal experiences. And I know my own mother, my mother did not set out to say, oh, I'm going to screw up my son. What mother does that? But I think subconsciously, she was taking a lot of her guilt, trying to instill it into me. Taking a lot of her anger out on me, making me constantly feel like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? That was like my mantra in my childhood. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? It's a horrible thing.
Because your mother was probably being tortured by a psychopathic mother who was trying to kill her, and it was completely irrational. What have I done wrong? What have I done wrong?
Yes.
So now you have inherited generations of abused people as your ancestors, and you are now stuck with the weight of your ancestors.
Yes. We talk about what our ancestors passed down to us, like eye color, hair, height, things like that, but they pass down emotional patterns, fears, coping mechanisms, and sometimes survival strategies. And sometimes those survival strategies can be toxic. Like fears of not having enough, fears ending up on the street, fears of not having enough money, that I fear it creates scarcity consciousness.
And, maybe next week we will talk about our fathers because I think in many ways, men have it even harder than women in some respects, much higher incarceration rates. Right? Those of us who had parents that were incarcerated. I had a parent that was incarcerated. So how does that, number one, having, what does that do to the mental health of the incarcerated? What was their mental health like before they became incarcerated? And how did incarceration further impact the mental health of that person? And how is that going to impact me? I look at all the blessings I have in this lifetime.
Yes.
Everything I was able to do that my mother dreamed that she could do. And when my mother was older and dying, she was, in her 70s, dying of emphysema. And all the kids had said, we had this conversation about the life she wished she could have lived. Yeah. She said, I wish I could have lived Whimsy's life.
Oh.
You know, I wish I could have lived the life that Whimsy's lived.
How
where
did that
she
make you feel?
that it looked better on the outside than it was living it. I
Yeah.
think my mother would have been horrified to find out that I was basically trafficked as an adult, because she got in a situation where she couldn't get away. And she was in a relationship with a psychopath
Mhm.
that dismantled her and kept her from leaving. And I wound up in that situation where I was trafficked out to LA by a guy who wanted to be an actor, and he thought that
Mhm.
he would just work me as a workhorse to pay for his hobby of wanting to be an actor.
Yes.
So in a way, I think that would have been very difficult for my mother to, like, wow, but you made it. You became a doctor,
Yeah.
and you still wound up, because of the psychological generational trauma,
Yeah.
because I was set up for it. I was set up to be trafficked, in the sense that I was a vulnerable adult, that I had mental health challenges because of being in foster care, because you're so broken
Mhm.
down by foster care abuse,
Mhm.
horrific child abuse, beatings where you thought, this guy's going to kill me. I'm going to die today,
Mhm.
right? Picked on, terrorized at school,
Oh.
beatings at school. I think these guys could kill me. Coming home, I think he's going to kill me. Growing up in intense fear for your survival, what does that do
Mhm.
to your brain development?
Well, the anxiety. It's like, I know for me, I lived with constant anxiety growing up, constant fear of my mother's temper. I was, like you, I was seriously bullied in school to where I dreaded going to school every day. I lived in fear of going to school. What are they going to do to me today?
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
and then
yes.
coming home and then having to deal with my crazy mother. Sorry, Mom.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
so I was in non-stop anxiety, just non-stop, probably for the first 18, 19 years of my life,
Yeah.
going
But
back
I
when I was a
also,
baby.
but I also think I had many blessings, you know,
Oh, I did too. I don't,
being able to move to Europe. I lived in Germany for
yeah.
3 years. I lived
I focus
in
on the blessings.
Yeah, I lived in London. I lived in England for
Yeah.
a while.
And I focus
I
on the fact I love my life now. And I think
Yeah,
you
and
do
you
too.
have options. You have options. We want,
Yes.
Sicily is looking really nice.
I
I
know.
sent you that
I got it.
$350 a month apartment,
I know.
and I was
Thank you.
thinking, is it time to leave?
Mm,
Take a take a language course
hmm.
for 2-3 hours a day, and you can get a permanent visa to live in
Oh, don't
Sicily.
think you don't have the wheels turning in my head.
Yeah, I might join you, but Albania is only like an hour from by plane.
Yeah, you
So
were
you
telling me.
could, and getting a visa to live in Albania is really cheap. So we could move to Albania, and then you could just go
Hmm.
to Italy anytime you want. If you could,
Ooh,
I'm going
like
for
every
a
weekend.
pasta, yeah, go for a pasta run in Sicily, Palmero, or wherever.
And you'll be like, bring me back one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, on the note of just thinking about how our, excuse me, how our ancestry can impact us, the other thing we want to talk about in terms of mental health, and this is something we really wanted you to think about, is your ancestors, and not to be so hard on yourself, and understand that there are hundreds of years of programming that led to you being who you are, and that yes, there is free choice, but free choice is far more limited than we realize.
Hmm.
A lot of what we are reacting to is generations of programming, and we have to
Yes.
honor and respect that.
Yeah. But the remarkable thing is that awareness in itself gives us choice. What we've been talking about, to be aware, to be conscious of how this has been influenced us. That helps us to start making different choices.
Right.
Yeah.
The next subject that I thought Chuck and I would get into, because we are talking about health and
Yeah.
how and we're talking about brain development and how our brains are influenced by the choices and the circumstances of our ancestors.
Hmm.
But the other thing has to do with just how to keep your brain healthy
Yeah.
overall. This is one of the
I
reasons
was.
we've talked about the importance of keeping your B complexes up, keeping your
Hmm.
breathing up. If
Hmm.
you are doing shallow breathing, people who are often depressed, We'll do shallow breathing rather than deep breathing. And one of the things we really didn't get into, but I was hoping we could get into it today, had to do with something we haven't been talking about lately, and that is why are omega-3s such an
Yeah.
important part of your nutritional health?
Well,
How do we get omega-3s in our diet, and what
mhm.
do omega-3s do in the body?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we've been talking about brain health. The brain is largely made of DHA.
That's correct.
Yeah. So it's very, very important for brain health. You know how we always heard fish was brain food?
hmm
Fish very rich in DHA.
Yeah, so there are 3 types of omegas. They are
ALA,
ALA, D,
EPA,
uh,
DHA, EPA.
DLA, and EPA.
Yeah.
And alpha linoleic acid has a conversion rate of 17:1. So if you are a vegan and you're eating flax and walnuts, that's going to be rich in alpha linoleic acid.
Chia seeds also.
And chia. And anything else you found in your
Well,
study?
flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts,
So-
plant oils.
Yeah,
different
soy.
plant oils,
Are going to be high, excuse me, high in alpha linoleic acid.
Yeah.
And then alpha linoleic at a ratio of 17:1 will convert to DHA. Why did I say DLA? Because I was not able to think while I was listening and thinking. It's okay.
Mhm.
So, and then that will convert to DHA. And DHA can also be found in algae.
Yes. Again,
And-
algae, one of the most perfect foods.
Now, it's expensive to do the DHA algae, but it is an option for people who are vegan.
Yes.
And DHA converts to EPA, which is anti-inflammatory and
Yeah.
good for arterial health.
Yes.
So those are the things you need to know about the 3 main omegas. ALA, which converts at 17:1 to DHA,
Yeah.
and then DHA at about 3:1 will convert to EPA. So you're not going to be getting much EPA from eating flax oil or walnuts because you're getting ALA and it has to convert to DHA and then from DHA to EPA. And this is why people will eat fish, which will give you both the DHA and the EPA.
Yeah.
And this is why we usually will recommend fish oils that are high in the omega-3s, DHA, EPA, for both the brain health, the DHA, and the cardiac health and anti-inflammatory benefits of the EPA.
You know something else? DHA is also very important for eye health, for the
That's
retina.
correct.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
I know that DHA is a major structural component of the retina. Yeah.
And the eyes are the brain.
Yes. Yes. I was going to say that also.
So if you were to take the skull and remove it and just lift the brain out of the skull, the eyes would be hanging off the brain. And that's because the eyes are part of the brain.
When you used to study anatomy in medical school, did you actually experience that?
Yeah,
with
sure.
cadavers? Yeah.
We would, I mean, this is kind of gruesome, but yes, we would remove the skull and we and also look at the back of the skull and you can see the cord and then you can see the branches of the nerves coming off the cord in the back.
Terrible.
And then you can see the optic nerves coming out of the brain into the eye, like the second cranial nerve, which is the optic nerve, and the olfactory nerve, which is the first cranial nerve. This was something that was a part of your boards. You had to learn the 10 cranial nerves that.
I remember.
Yeah. And the vagus nerve and the 8th cranial nerve. Yeah, the 8th cranial nerve, which had 2 sections for the cochlea and the vestibular and all of that. But the point is that if you're wanting to feed your brain, and we find with people that have dementia, we're finding lower levels of DHA.
Interesting. And do you think that also could have to do with inflammation within the brain?
It's inflammation and it's also diet. What happens in seniors, people as they get older, is they start to they only are cooking for themselves, and they can't be bothered cooking because it's just one person, and that becomes the senior diet of toast and tea. Oh, I
Or
can't be all.
worse.
Yeah, I'll just make myself a toast and tea. A
I've heard
toast and
of
tea.
some seniors alone getting boxes of candy, ice cream out of the fridge, and making that their dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not particularly hard or expensive to open up canned fish. This is when canned fish becomes your friend. And you want to make sure that you rinse off or remove the oil. But
Yeah.
sardines are still fairly expensive. Not too expensive. They've gotten more expensive over time. I remember when it was a quarter for a can of sardines.
Yeah. Now I remember this was something you told me because I did not know that canned fish like salmon could still be that healthy.
Yeah, you can get wild salmon in the
I
can.
know. I see it at Trader
So,
Joe's.
yeah, so the cheapest way to get fish is to just go with canned. There's nothing wrong with it. It's completely acceptable.
Yeah.
You're still going to get plenty of omegas that way. And if you are on a tight budget, you would just open the can of wild salmon, take the portion you want, put it in a container and store it in the refrigerator. There's great things you can do with salmon. You can make salmon patties.
Yeah.
You can also saute it and
I love salmon.
have it with pasta and make yourself some salmon
It's delicious.
fettuccine. But salmon patties are nice. You crack an egg and you put a little matzo meal on there or something
Yeah.
like that. Some onions and celery. If you want to get some vegetables in there, stick it in the refrigerator and let it set for a little bit. Fry yourself up some salmon fish patties. These are great, simple ways that you can get omega-3s. Don't go crazy on the oil. We say to be frugal with the oil. You can bake your fish patties if you're worried. Breadcrumbs in small amount, I think, is fine.
I think so too.
Because you're not going to have a crash. You're not going to have a sugar crash if you are taking croutons or dried bread and you're mixing it in with something like egg and fish, because the glycemic index will be rather low. And then I always put things like celery and onion in my fish cakes. Stick it in the refrigerator and let it soften a little bit. And then what I like to do is I like to spray a little olive oil and then bake it.
Oh,
And
that's a great idea. Yeah.
yeah, and I'll have that with like some Dave's Killer Bread. And I make I've made
I've got to try that.
Yeah, and I've made croutons from the ends
Yeah,
of Dave's
'cause
Killer Bread, which
you've
has a low
recommended-
glycemic index. Yeah.
You've actually told me to tell that to your patients. Recommend that. So I've got to go try this bread now. But I have
Yeah, it's really
canned
good.
salmon in my kitchen pantry thanks to you to this day. You were
Oh,
the one
yeah,
that educated
it's-
me about that.
Yeah, it's a great way. And
It is.
all you need is half a can 2-3 times a week in order to get the much of the omegas that you need. And I think right now we're looking at prices on canned salmon if you are on a budget. Salmon shopping. I think, what are we looking at? $4 or $5? A large
Right.
can of the Bumblebee wild salmon right now is running for about $4.69, and that'll give you 2 servings. So you're getting 2 servings of
That's
fish.
quite affordable. Quite affordable
Yeah.
for something that packs such a wallop health-wise.
Yeah,
for
so
nutrients.
you're talking about if you have that with toast and some cucumber and tomato on some toast.
That just sounds delightful.
Yeah, so you're talking about a lunch that's going to be affordable. That's probably going to run you about $3.50 for lunch. The other thing I like is to tell people sardines can be really tasty. If there's a couple different. Yeah, there's a couple different ways that you can make those. But the Beach Cliff and water sardines will run you $1.24. You can also buy, like, the Fish Wife has the best reputation, and also the Patagonia. And you can buy like 3 multi-packs, and then that's really easy as well. You can have some toast and sardine and a couple cans of that a week. You're going to be getting plenty of omegas, protecting your brain and your heart from heart disease, because anything that's good for the brain is going to be
Good for the heart.
good for the heart. That's right.
That's right. I'm going to open up a can of salmon after we finish the show.
Yeah, that's actually I have the mackerel. Sometimes I like to mix it up. Sometimes I like to have the mackerel, and sometimes I like to have the canned salmon, and sometimes I like to have the canned tuna, but I'm careful on the canned tuna because the mercury is a little high.
Yes, that's been the case for many years. I remember back in the 70s, there was concern about mercury in tuna.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's true. From smelting plants and stuff, it gets into the water.
Yeah.
All right. So if you don't like the canned salmon suggestions, we always tell people to have a green smoothie every day. And then you
Yeah.
can put ground flax and walnuts in your smoothie to get omegas that way, or chia. Mhm.
Yes, chia.
Yeah, great way
Yeah.
to. Chia is not particularly expensive. And one of the ways people like to have it, hello, Sasha.
She's being rambunctious right now, and I don't want her to jump on the
Oh,
computer.
she looks like she is back in her element, that
Oh,
she's
yes.
she like knows that daddy loves her. She knows that I didn't do anything wrong and
Oh,
daddy loves me. That's right. He
yes.
just went to Rome on vacation.
Yeah,
But
she
yeah,
knows I'm back.
you can do chia in water, and you can add you can squeeze a little lime or a little lemon in it, mix
Yeah.
it up, and that helps break it down and help it absorb a little better.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the empath's prayer, unless
Yes.
you have something else you want to add,
No,
Chuck.
I think we should move on with the show and do what we do. Let me just move some stuff to the side here and get my cards out.
So frozen wild salmon fillets, not bad. I think that's a good deal. Aldi's has some great deals. If you guys have an Aldi's near you, and also Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is
Yeah,
great because
Trader
they
Joe's
do.
is-
Well, I'll tell you, Trader Joe's does not pay the import tax. They are owned by a German company, and they're able to bring things
Oh,
in without the import tax. I don't
really?
know how they swing this.
I
But
never knew
so
that.
if you love your cheese and you don't want to give your cheese up and you love European cheeses, the cheapest European cheeses you're going to get without paying the import tax, 60% on French cheeses,
Yeah.
is to get them from Aldi's and Trader Joe's, because they're
I love
able to
TJ's.
bypass. Yeah, they're able to. Have you seen
I'm
their?
within walking distance of one. I'm down
I know.
there
I
almost every other
know.
day. Yeah.
Have you seen their cheese selections from Europe?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have, and I have partaken in their cheese selections.
The
Like the Hollywood Bowl. I love to get things like that and bring them.
I like the pub cheese.
Pub cheese.
Yes, from Britain. They get the British pub cheese. They've brought the British pub cheese, and that stuff is dangerous.
Yes,
no,
it is.
No, I don't bring it into my home anymore. But I lived in Europe, and I love those European
I'd weigh
cheeses.
25 pounds heavier if I brought that stuff home.
The tray, the three cream cheeses out of France that the nuns do. You know, you look at the prices at Whole Foods, because Whole Foods has to pay tax on that. Whole Foods is an American company, but this is a German company, so they're not paying the taxes that the Americans have to pay. You know, it's like, no, we're Europeans, and so we pay European prices. So they pass it on to you, and that's the great thing about Aldi's. If you do European foods, and I love those European cheeses, which is why I got to stay out of Trader Joe's, because I will just go to the cheese. I will go to the cheese section, and I will see all those, because I have been to France many times, and I have stayed at the Airbnbs, and you go to the market and you see the nuns produce cheeses. Like, you have various different nunneries and these different monasteries that have been producing these amazing cheeses for hundreds of years. And then you go to Aldi's and Trader Joe's, and they have those nuns cheeses from, San Michel or where. Yes. And it's just like, oh my God, you've got that here in Trader. How the hell did that wind up here? And look at the price. You can get the same thing at Whole Foods, but like I said, you're going to be paying twice as much. So
yeah, you're reminding me of this little church in Maui where these nuns, they baked bread, and it was phenomenal.
Yes.
I got a loaf every day. I ate way too much bread.
It's so worth it. Yeah.
All
right. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring in the empath's prayer. And then if you have any questions for us, it's fine. If you have political questions, we can answer those.
Sure.
Or if you, we'll do it. if it's what you guys want, or if you have personal questions that are stuff that you're going through right now, we can go ahead and try and answer your personal questions as well. But if you need us to pray for you, if you need us to pray for you or pray for a family member, please give us their name or the name of the person that you want us to pray for, and we will include them in our prayers today as we bring in the empath's prayer.
Okay.
All right. While they're doing that, I will take a sip of water and just give people a couple minutes to.
I'm going to do the same also.
Yeah, we got to give them a second to put the names in before we do this.
Usually I have a nice little cup. I forgot to get it, so I'm going to have to drink out of the water bottle. If you'll please excuse me here.
That's all right. So what's going on with the cat? How is the emotional health of Sasha? We all want to know.
Sasha, you want to answer that? She's been pretty happy.
Hi, Sasha. How are you?
Today, very rambunctious.
Hi.
As you've seen, sometimes I have to hold her. Part of it's out of affection. Part of it's I don't want her jumping on the keyboard and disconnecting me from the show. Did you
give her a mouse or something? She seems to be focused on something off camera.
Like
a toy or something.
I'm not sure what she's focused on. I mean, she has toys, but I think right now she's just excited to be with me. She woke up from her nap and now she's got energy like I put espresso in her water dish. You know. Yeah.
All right.
But I love her.
I think we've gotten our names coming in, so we're going to go ahead and bring in the empath's prayer, and then personal readings after that, if you like.
Okay, put it down.
Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen.
Amen.
For those people today who are requesting healings, we come together at this time and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again as a community, we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. Amen. May all souls be healed.
May all souls be healed.
All right. Without further ado, we will blitz away. And any questions? We would happily.
Oh, yes.
Chucky Poo and I will.
Yes, Whimsy Poo.
We will do everything in our power to answer your questions because, gosh darn it, that is what we like to do.
It's what we love.
Yeah.
It's what we love to do. From Sue B6418, question: will I ever have a good relationship with my son?
Boy, you know, those relationships with kids are difficult, aren't they, Chuck?
Well, I've never been a parent, but from what I've been told, it's the most rewarding and it's also the most challenging thing you'll ever do in your life.
I don't know. I see you with your daughter there, and I think your four-legged fur thing. That is your daughter, honey. All right, let's see about her relationship with her son. Your son suffers from depression, and I get the impression when I go into this energy that something may have happened. I think there may have been a divorce or something where the husband left, because I feel that this is a child who is isolated. he was going through some stuff. He became isolated and depressed. I see you there, but I don't see his father, and I don't know why that is. And I don't know if that's because you and the father were separated or something of this nature happened, but that's what I'm feeling. And it's just he doesn't feel like he can talk to anybody about his problems. This is the main thing I feel. And I feel like you're just taking care of your home and your life, but he presents as an isolated and depressed and grieving. And it's not, I'm not getting that this is a selfish kid that wants to hurt you. That's not what this is. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
feeling when I go into this. Instead, I'm feeling that this is somebody who got depressed. He is something happening with his dad. Maybe his dad went away, or I don't know what this is I'm
Yeah.
feeling. And I feel like he just felt like he was alone for whatever reason. And I think he took that very badly. And I'm also concerned about a bad habits, drug or alcohol abuse or so. I do feel like he could potentially be in a relationship with somebody because he's got this grieving, but he's got this Six of Swords. My concern here is the Devil card. He is somebody who is extremely isolated, and that is a problem. Also, you're very strong, and maybe he feels like he can't live up to certain expectations. But I would just try and love and accept him. And but I feel there's a deep shame here, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Chuck, are you picking up anything?
Look at that. That was the predominant card I got. Shame,
Yeah,
despair, shadow, suffering, but at the same time trying very hard to go about his business, and even to the point of being in denial about a lot of it. You know how we can just stuff things down and not look at what we don't want to look at? It's like he's trying to be stoic. He's trying to move on, but I get a lot of underlying shame with him. And what I got for you, because your question was, will you have a relationship with him? Well, there was the partnership and love card, which I think is underlying to this. There is a love that's there. But I was getting, it's more up to you to be more of a leader, to leadership, to take charge. Whimsy, you elaborate upon this, but I think it's up to you to just really, sorry, my cat, look at the situation, follow your intuition, and you be the leader here wherever you can and lead him to enlightenment. And if you can do so, definitely, I love that I got the new beginnings card here. That is possible there, but I see you as being the bridge from this, and you've got to look at what he's facing right now. A lot of shame, a lot of guilt, and a lot of denial about that. But it is possible to have a relationship.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, Three of Pentacles in the 7th position. They could be building something new, but I think he suffers from depression.
Yeah, that was obvious. Shadow, despair, shame, those 3 cards came up.
I think, when I go into his energy, I feel like his mother was very strong.
Yeah.
And
leader.
Maybe he felt like she had it together and that I couldn't live up to it. And then I feel like my father just kind of like left or is unplugged or not available in some capacity.
Yeah.
And that I'm alone.
Yeah. So
I'm having all these issues and nobody seems to be able to relate to me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We've all been there. Jess Miskey, what are you seeing for my financial future? I am going to throw my hat into the ring for a position that I feel is way out of my wheelhouse, but it's for a place I care deeply about. Good for you. Good for you.
Okay. Financial future for Jess MSK1. Miskey. That's it. Jess Miskey.
Sure.
I feel like your life is about to change in really big ways. And I think that you are probably looking at a career change. So it's quite possible. If not this, then something completely different than what you've done in the past. And that's because your first house is death. And so there's a major transformation over you. Your house of obstacles is the Four of Pentacles. So I do think now is the time you need to be frugal. Your hope and fear is this feeling like you don't really know what to do with yourself. But I do think that you're going to start looking at finance and investing in the future. And so for that reason, I do think if it's
Yeah.
not this, it's going to be something that's great because you are moving towards focusing on financial investment. And I think you're going to start getting interested in personal finance and investment going forward in the future.
Mhm.
And in that sense, it's a huge transformation or change in your career going forward. So it's possible, yes.
Yeah. Well, my last card is very good, but leading up to that, I'm getting very much community, getting yourself out there, getting yourself out into the world, just exploring, opening doors. Your imagination, your ingenuity, your creativity, really pay attention to that. That's going to lead you in a lot of the right directions. I got the business card, like be very focused on whatever your business is, whatever it is to achieve what it is you're wanting. Stay close to that. Be aware there is a lot of competition out there. That's just a given. But what I liked was the last card, gifts. Whimsy was seeing like a possible new career for you, something, opportunity. I feel that as long as you stay on course, this is very achievable for you. It may not look like what you think it's going to look like. It may be exactly, but it's going to be something good just the same.
Yeah, definitely. She's thinking about her retirement and her future.
Yeah. From Susie Q. Was that right? Susie QT 8389. Question: will my son get a job in archaeology? He has the degree and is waiting. Thanks.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I have a friend who's an archaeologist. She's retiring soon. Well, first I'm going to do it as a yes or no. Will my son get a job in archaeology? Whoa, got a yes on that, just with the pendulum.
Let's take a look. Son's job in archaeology. Sue's job, son's job in archaeology. Oh, I see changes happening for him in August. So, excuse me. He could have a job situation opening up for him. Possibly in August. He's got to put his reputation out there and be patient, but things are opening up for him in August. Be open to changes. He is a little bit strict about what he wants for himself. He could find himself with a female boss. I'm seeing a Queen of Wands around him. He needs to get serious and put himself out there. Maybe he winds up with something as simple as a TA job, but something's coming for him around August.
Yeah. Well, I asked on the pendulum. I got a yes. I feel good about that. When I got partnerships in love, I take that to mean love for what he's doing. He wants to be an archaeologist. It's obviously what he's passionate about, what he loves. I took that to mean just that. He's very much got to stick tightly to his priorities, stay very, very focused moving toward this. Again, I got the competition card. There will be a lot of competition for such jobs, but that's okay. It's just out there. It's just a reality. But I feel very encouraged by the fact that this jumped out, the new beginnings. And I also got gifts. Again, I had that before. It came out again. Maybe it's because it was near the top of the cards, but it did come out. I think he's going to do this. It looks very promising based on the energy right now as we read it.
I think I got a fake spam from Jeremy Rodney. So somebody had sent me a fake DoorDash $50 gift certificate.
Yes.
Did you get one also?
I did.
Did you use it?
No.
Did you click on it?
I just clicked on how to open it and I didn't go further.
No, don't do that. It's fake.
It's fake.
I think it's fake, and they will access your credit cards.
Oh, shit.
Change all your passwords now.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so what they do, this is a scam. You'll get somebody you think you know.
Well, I didn't activate the card. There was a thing where it said click to activate. I did not do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, so I should be
So
okay.
I don't think that Jeremy sent us tacos. Did it say tacos for Taco Tuesday?
No, but it was just congratulations on your 100,000 subscribers, and it was a very gracious message.
And it
Thank
was
you.
sent to you. Why was it sent to you?
We sent one to you and one to me.
Yeah, I don't think Jeremy did that. Like, I
Okay.
think it was because I gave a copy of it to Grok and I said, is this a scam or is it fake? And Grok said, this is
Oh.
a scam. Do not click on it. And so what happens is that they get into your data and then they steal your YouTube channel. Right. So just
I hope I'm
yeah.
okay. I may ask you to do a reading for me. You think I'm okay?
I would change my Google password just to
Okay.
be on the safe side.
Okay. You think I'm okay?
Well, I don't think Jeremy sent us a DoorDash, but maybe Jeremy.
Darn, and I was looking forward to that.
Yeah. So just if Jeremy could tell us if that was him. If it wasn't him,
Yes,
then,
please, Jeremy, please tell us.
Yeah, let us know. I think
Because
he's gone.
I even wrote him to thank him. I sent him a
And
little text.
oh, you sent him?
Well, I
How
sent
did-
him. I just
how
sent, he didn't answer. I just sent a text.
How did
saying,
you
"Thank
get his address to send him a note?
I just used the what was texted to me, and I just texted it right back.
And you didn't write it back? Yeah, because that wasn't him. It was an automated thing, so he wouldn't have gotten back.
Yeah, he did not get back to me.
Yeah, I think it was.
I was
fake.
just being gracious to thank him because
Yeah.
I initially
Anytime you get those things, free gift card, check with a cut and paste and say, "Is this fake?" before you
In
open
fact, I'm looking
anything.
it up right now on my phone. Oh yeah, it says right here, Jeremy Rodney sent you a DoorDash gift card via Amazon. View your gift card at. That part I clicked on, but I didn't go beyond that.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Those are fake things, and they will hijack your YouTube account that way.
Okay, I'm glad you told me.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, this is good for all the viewers to know also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, so.
And the same with Facebook. If you're on Facebook Marketplace and somebody contacts you, I want to buy it right away, and they try to access your bank. Cash only. You can pay me in cash when you come to pick it up. No, but I'm willing to pay you right now. Cash only. You can pay me cash when you get here, because everything is a scam. You know, particularly if they want to buy within 30 seconds. If I want to buy that table, you know, if you're putting stuff, Facebook is not going to protect you. Trust me. I am still locked out of doing live videos on Facebook because somebody put porn on my Facebook pages, and
God,
Facebook doesn't care. They got their money. What you going to do about it?
Yeah.
We got the money, honey. So it's like they don't care. These large corporations don't care about you. It's pretty disgusting.
It is.
But we got a question from Sybil here.
Yes. Whimsy, I finally closed on a townhouse because of delays. It closed 3 weeks ago and moving after a few repairs. You called it. Exactly 8 months. You're always spot on. Sends you love. Isn't that nice?
That's nice. I'm glad. I'm glad we got that. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? Okay.
Christy here. Will my handmade things sell? Thanks.
Well, where are you selling them? On eBay or what's that? Etsy. They say Etsy is not making money for people these days.
I've heard that as of late. I wonder if that's because of the economy in general.
I was thinking of doing voodoo dolls. Hex your ex-husband, the voodoo doll.
Actually, Whimsy, I love that idea. I'll help you with that. I used to make dolls when I was studying art in college. I made dolls.
I think that
you want to do it. Let's collaborate.
I think that if you and I made voodoo dolls and we gave and we started selling them, we'd probably get rich.
Let's do it. I'm in. If you're in, we can talk about it. I'd love to do that.
But do you really want to? Like, what if they worked? See, I think of it more as like art therapy and psychology. I don't think
I
that they
know.
really work. It's more like it just feels good. You
Well,
bastard. I don't really think I'm doing it, but people say, no,
Well,
you're really doing it. Like,
it
whoa.
is the intention. You are putting that intention out. I
But
hate
you
you, I
think
hate you, I hate you. You know?
But I mean, like, I know people who
But
you
it can also
know,
be therapeutic. You know,
I've sent all kinds of, and then you see them and they're doing great. Hey, I got another promotion. And you're like, I'm just hexing you and nothing's happening.
you know what?
You're doing better than ever.
Maybe
just-
they're holding their mirror up and sending it back to you. You know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So I mean, I
there's
don't
a
know.
little gift store near where I live, and they've got a Trump voodoo doll in the window. Lots of little pins in it. And
It
guess
doesn't
what? Most of the pins
work.
are stuck. Well, but I think it makes people feel better. They invite people to come in there and stick a pin in it, and most of the pins are in his crotch and his rear end. The doll.
Yeah, didn't do anything, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. Okay, we got to get back.
But you would
here.
need to have but Chuck, you would need to have a microscope if you were going to put it in this pee-pee. You would have to be like there with the microscope to find the pee-pee.
You had to go there. It's true.
All right, Christy here. Will my handmade things sell? Let's take a look.
Okay, I got to focus here.
I think selling it at swap meets and these weekend swap meets would be this way to go. Oh, I see you making money. Yes. And you are going to be making money. And there's a huge transformation, going to the swap meet and the weekly events where you rent a table for $10-20 could be, over the next 6 months, I'm seeing progress here for her.
Mm-hmm.
And the final outcome is you could go in with a business partner, but be very careful about that. If you don't need a business partner, keep the money for yourself. Keep it simple. Yeah. But in the next 6 months, I'm seeing profits. Anything from you, Chuck?
Well, I was just going to say, I have seen some really good friendships destroyed when they became business partners, started arguing. But anyway,
but not us.
No, not us.
We're going strong for like 10 years.
Yes. Oh, more than that. I think 11, 12, isn't it? Anyway, I see this. This is looking good. Very important for you to be getting out into your community. Like Whimsy was saying, going to swap meets, events, anything like that. Get out into the world with what you have. This is very much your business. Treat it as a business, stick to it, but love your business at the same time. Be in your heart center. Again, this card comes up a lot when people ask him questions like this, but it jumps out of the deck. Competition, this is a given. It's a very competitive field. I know this for myself, trying to sell my own artwork and my wares, but this looks good. I kept pulling to things fell out of the deck, and I got new beginnings for you. And gifts, I think it looks very promising as long as you adhere strictly to your business, be conscious of your competition, get yourself out into the world. Really get yourself out there, and you can do this.
Is that hard for you, Chuck, as an artist, to try and get your stuff up on eBay? Do you ever are you, I know that you sell your art. You're a professional paid artist. Has it been hard? And you have a niche group, like people who love old Hollywood stars are going to want,
I do, but I'm diverse. I do a lot of different types of portraits, and I do pet portraits. I do, I talk about this all the time. I do what I call soul portraits, where I receive messages from the subject. You can't help but not to when you're spending hours and hours working on something like I do. But I think I'm better at it. It used to be, it's hard for a lot of artists because it's like we're putting our children up, our babies, and it's hard sometimes for us to take rejection and criticism and people not liking your work, but you have to be thick-skinned and get over that and just move on. So I'm much better at it than I used to be. From Donna Luna 6139. Greetings, Whimsy and Chuck. Well, greetings to you too. Is my mom going to give me and my son the house instead of trying to divide it with my brothers and sisters that already have a house? So didn't we have this question before? We had a question very similar to this a few weeks ago, I think.
I don't think so. I think that's,
okay.
Maybe
it's making me think of something similar.
We might have. I don't know. Okay,
Whoa.
let's take a look at the house situation. Well, the fair thing to do would be to divide it amongst all the children. This is what
Yeah.
happened when my mother died. She was going to leave it to her grandson, but she didn't have a will, and in the end, it was equally divided amongst all of her children, and there were 10 of us. No, there were a lot of it. Yeah, 10 of us, because the grandson also got a portion. So he didn't get the whole house, but he got 1/10 of the money.
Yeah.
So that everybody got a portion, because she would change her mind. No, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. So eventually my older sister came in and said, everybody gets the same amount. And she cut a check, everybody equal. And that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. And I've known other extremes where the parents feel, well, this child needs it more than the others, and then they disinherit all the other children. That happened to a very good friend of mine who got disinherited because his parents decided one was more deserving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Is your mom forgive her son of the house?
I'm going to just go first and say that I think the house will be sold, and that she will probably have to move out of that house.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I feel that way, because she's got the 8 of Cups moving in. And this is what happened in our family. There were 8 of us. Everybody was fighting. Or actually, who was left? Was it 6 of us? It was 6 of us, but then others got involved. But the point is that she walks away from everything at the time of the passing. Spiritually, she's going to have to take care of herself spiritually. She's going to be okay, and you're probably going to be starting a business. You've got an entrepreneur. Look, here's what's going to happen probably, Donna. Take the money and start a small business, and you'll probably be moving out of that house, and the house will be sold, and it's probably objectively fair in the sense that the brothers, everybody gets the same amount.
Yeah.
You're going to take your portion, find another place to live, and then invest in a business, because the final outcome is a successful business for you with an Ace of Wands.
Yeah.
But I do see you leaving the house. I have to be honest.
Yeah. When we do these readings, I think you're like me. You so want to give good news to a person, but at the same time, we have to be honest with what we're getting. I was just getting in this kind of yucky energy. I asked the pendulum. It was in between, like it hasn't been decided yet, but isn't this telling? Competition, the tug of war amongst all the children. And there's going to be a judgment, meaning what's going to be decided. But I also got discontent, like no one's going to be really happy. It's just going to be one of those compromise type things that doesn't really work for anyone. I hope I'm wrong about that, but that's what I'm getting right now. And it was interesting you said that she should find a business, because I was wondering why this card jumped out, the business card. So I think this is just backing up what you said. Find a business. And as I do want to point out, the pendulum was not decided. We read on energy of the moment. It could change. We're just telling you what we're getting right now, because I don't want to be discouraging to you.
Yeah.
That's just how it looks right now. From Elizabeth Wabro, I lost my friend Emily, age 29, to acute, how do I pronounce that, Whimsy? Myeloid leukemia.
Myeloid leukemia
after a bone
marrow
it was
part of your blood work studies. You probably don't remember, because we don't usually do cancer.
It's just the pronunciation. I wasn't sure.
Myeloid.
Yeah, we did. Myeloid, and we didn't go into cancer that much. But anyway,
no, we didn't.
I lost my friend Emily, age 29, to acute myeloid leukemia after a bone marrow transplant. I'm so sorry. She was so determined to live. Any message from her? Okay.
I feel that passing for Emily was very difficult, because she didn't understand the point. She didn't understand why she had gotten sick, and she didn't understand why she her life was, for her, it was a difficult ending because she was young and she didn't understand why this happened. And she felt like she also blamed herself for her illness. She felt that there were things that had happened that had caused this. Maybe she had been exposed to heavy metals. Sometimes beauty products can be tainted with heavy metals that can damage. But she felt like there was some kind of an exposure or mistakes that she had made in the past. She presents as the Seven of Cups, like she's confused about what happened to her. And she went through a period of being very restricted. She also didn't know, there were places she wanted to go, things she wanted to do, and she felt like her judgment had not been solid. Like she blamed herself for her illness in some respects. She was kind of stubborn towards the end of her life. There's this Four of Cups energy, but in the end, I feel like this was someone that was met by a lot of ancestors, or by the way, there was a genetic component to her illness. There was a genetic component, but she comes with the ancestors. The Ten of Pentacles is one's ancestry and inheritance. So I feel like what she wants you to know is that she was met by a great deal of support on the other side, and that there was something genetic or ancestral to what happened to her, and that she blamed herself, and that she was really somebody who was kind of hard on herself towards the end of her life. But she would want people to know that she went to a place where she had tremendous support. I feel this support of the Ten of Pentacles.
I got that. I didn't entirely understand one of these cards until I heard you talking, why that jumped out of my deck. Obviously, she was going through tremendous suffering before she left this earth. She moved into a state of grace. I got the family card, but the family card also can stand for ancestors, our own family, our tribe, very much with her on the other side in this state of grace. And that's where she is. I feel that concurs very much with what you said. But I also felt she had a message for you personally. She wanted me to remind you this, just like I always say, like when I channel from the other side, I always say we all have the ability to do this. And she wants you to really be conscious of your own psychic awareness, because she would like to talk to you on a regular basis. She'd like to come to you, and you can receive her. So she wants you to just be conscious of your own psychic abilities. Part of that is she's telling you need to rest, you need to be at peace with yourself and focus on your priorities. But I also think this just means she wants to communicate with you. But I like what you said, Whimsy, because that concurs with me. She's with her tribe, her ancestors right now. Much better place on the other side. From Jennifer Petunia 7, I've been waiting on news from the court for almost 2 months. Will I get a response answer this month of June?
Jennifer Petunia, will she receive information from the courts?
Will she receive information from the courts this month? Will she get this month? I got yes, but let's see what the cards say.
Let me see what the cards say.
Yeah, I just did that first pendulum. Now I'm going to just shuffle through the cards.
Well, I feel like she went through an economic hardship. You know, she has the Five of Pentacles, and you know, was this did this have to do with work or labor? I feel like this person really struggled. You know, she's got the poverty card, you know, locked out in the cold. Well, did you go through a divorce or something, some kind of a breakup? And then the other person, the House of Opposition, marriage, the hopes and fears, Page of Pentacles, could be financial. And then this concern here about the Nine of Wands being locked out. You won the case, or it will be good for you and bad for the other person. So whatever happened, if it was an accident or whatnot, listen to me very carefully, Jennifer, because this is very important for you to hear. You are going to win this case, but you should not be irresponsible with the money or the financial benefits that come with it, because where you're headed is Ace of Swords, and that's victory. You will win. Your House of Opposition, the other loses. Look at that, Ten of Swords over her, the person that she's in opposition with. Her hopes and fears, She also could have taken another deal, or she could have given up or left, something of this nature, but she refused to do so. And I think she second guessed herself on that. But the final outcome they're saying for Jennifer is you must use the money to master your skills and gain control over your career, your mastery, and your finances. So that's what they want you to do next.
Well, I took it straight to the pendulum and just went, yes. Nice, big, strong yes there. So I think that looks very good. But I did get the exhaustion card. This is usually the card somebody's been going through a lot of anxiety, going through an ordeal, emotional, physical, spiritual, you name it. Someone very, very overwhelmed. It's been a really tough period, but I like the fact that I got that yes. And I was actually hoping the judgment or balance card was going to jump out of my deck. It didn't. I kept shuffling and shuffling. It would not jump out, but I did get for you new beginnings. And this is the best celebration and gifts. So yeah, I think you're going to get a settlement, but I like the fact that Whimsy took it further and gave you some very practical advice on what to do with that. But it looks good for you. I am screwed. I am allergic to all of those high histamine foods.
No, you don't. You can just eat an alkaline diet, and that's rich in chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts. And those are not high in histamine foods. I think what Cole He is saying is that canned or aged fish is high in histamines, so she can't have the DHA. Any suggestions for what she can eat in her diet that's not going to be aged, that's going to give her the omega she needs?
I'm thinking offhand, anything vegan, like we were talking about chia seeds, algae. What do you think, Whimsy?
Well, yeah. I mean, could you talk to her about what? Say you were vegan, what would you do to get your omegas up? Like, what are some of the products we would sell that would help her?
Well, definitely chia seeds, plant-based oils, algae. Blue-green algae, very good source of omegas that would be vegan.
What about some? Would you go straight to like flax oil? Because I think, also making a salad where you're using flax oil would be a great idea.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Put on.
So ground flax, you can keep it in your freezer, but also I would think about using flax oil. And you could go straight with, there isn't a lot of histamine in like an omega-3 by Nordic Naturals if you want to go that route.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the best companies.
Yeah.
From Turtle Shell. I have severe spinal stenosis and am unable to work. Can you tell me, will my health improve if and when I can get surgery? Thank you. Oh.
Spinal stenosis. Yeah, that is something that can happen. I would want to keep the omega-3s up to get any inflammation down, and that could help with spinal stenosis, because if you've got any inflammation in the body, also weight loss, calorie restriction, making sure that you are doing some nice gentle stretching and a diet that is alkaline. Eat to Live by Joel Fuhrman. That is going to dramatically reduce weight and fluid and pressure in the body, and it's going to take the pain off of the stenosis while you wait for your surgery. Yes, you're going to have your surgery probably within the next 6 months. Until then, I would put you on an anti-inflammatory, mostly plant-based diet. You can find out more about that on Eat to Live with Joel Fuhrman. Keep your omega-3s up, and no eating after 6:30. No snacking at night. Watch the junk food, because we're trying to get the fluid down and your weight down, and that's going to take pressure off the spine. It's going to make all that pressure shrink. And take our advice about getting plenty of omegas in your diet. But you've got the victory over the next 6 months. It will be a successful surgery, and it's probably going to happen within the next 3 to 6 months.
I got a good vibe on that, because it's interesting. Got the physical body card, and above that, the balance card. And I get from this surgery, this is going to be very balancing for him. It's going to fix a lot of things. It just overall health is going to be so much better. You're going to be a lot happier, more at peace with yourself. You're going to feel more balanced. And also, I get during this time when you're laid low or even when you're recovering, solitude, it's often a wonderful time for creativity and to receive epiphanies. I've talked to so many people that I have done readings for, where people have been in this situation where they're having to have surgery or someone they love is having surgery. And I get that a lot in my readings, that this is a time for a person to really listen to their intuition, because sometimes we don't get quiet in another way. So this is potentially a creative period for you. A lot of answers. From Warrior Queen's Magic. Should I move away to another state? Am fed up. Boy, we hear that a lot, don't we, Whimsy?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why, preppers are fine, but I think they overdo it a little bit too much and they hoard too much. There is a lot to be said about hunkering down and building a home that the strong winds will not carry your home away. And there's also something beneficial about holding on to things that you can take with you, like that kitty cat he just carried.
I'm trying to keep her from knocking
this
the
is
computer over.
Chuck and I have this conversation a lot. This is probably the main conversation: that do we stay and hunker down here in the United States, or do we say screw it and move to Albania? And there's no right answer for anybody. And I mean, there's a part of me that I just want to stay in Oregon. I'm from Oregon, man. I want to stay home.
We had that conversation.
I don't want to. Yes, I want to. The truth is, I want to move to Astoria or Seaside. I really like Seaside, Oregon, or Newport. I want to go live on the ocean, and I don't want to have to leave my damn country. The older I get, the less I want to travel. You know what I'm saying? So
we're right. Well, it's an arduous thing to just pick up everything and move, especially when we're old, shall we say older, it's takes some fortitude and courage to do it. Are you still reading, Whimsy?
Over this issue, I just feel like this person is at a stalemate. She's got a two of swords, so I don't know if she's going anywhere. I think she's just unhappy with her life right now over the issue of whether she should travel. The grass is not always greener. I see her getting increasingly depressed, but I'm not sure that moving is the solution, because they say take care of your health right now, avoid codependent relationships, be willing to say no to toxic people, and know that if she stays where she is and changes who she's hanging out with and changes the way she lives her life and starts focusing more on health and healthy communities, staying where she is could be probably pretty great. You can see her focusing on health over the next 2 years, but she's got to end relationships that are codependent and toxic, that are making her depressed. Cut the cord, man. Get them out of your life. Over the issue of whether she should travel or not, she's got a 4 of Cups. The grass is not always greener. The truth of the matter is, if she starts changing up the way she lives her life today, she could be pretty damn happy where she's at. She's got an Ace of Swords as her final outcome.
Well, our happiness or our unhappiness is within our own selves. And I've known many people who think that's their solution. Oh, I'm going to move to another place, or I'm going to do this or that. And they're just taking the unhappiness with them where they go. It's like with bags are still packed. But I got that she's feeling very restricted right now, very locked down, closed in. This is not happy at all. The first card I got was, if you do want to do something like this jumped out. A risk. It's going to come down to just taking a risk. Go for it. If you really want this, because I also have to know the truth about what gives you pleasure, what honestly makes you happy. That's the truth part. And if it's that important to you, this came out first. Take the risk. And I also had epiphany and intuition. It's about, obviously, I say that over and over, but it is about listening to your guidance. That's going to give you a lot of your answers there, but ultimately it's going to be a risk no matter what. But that doesn't mean it's not a bad risk. Warrior Queen's Magic. Etsy takes too much for marketing fees. I've heard that. Yeah. I sold antiques on there years ago. Cost much. Markets stall. Long-term boosts at marketplace and local festivals better. probably so. And it's just nice to have that personal touch and talk it
Also,
up with people. And
right. Arts.com would be a great place for Trump to, arts.com is a good place for Chuck to think about it. A lot of artists put their stuff on arts.com where people can order prints and that. And I don't know if you've ever done that. Put your stuff
I
on
haven't
arts.
done that.
Yeah, and just
Looked
start
into
start selling your stuff in the art marketplace. But somebody had said Chuck needs art on MTN Network. We don't know what that is, but he definitely needs
Well,
to get out there.
I can look it up. Yeah, I'm putting myself out there.
Yeah, you should be famous by now, considering some of the contracts you've gotten.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I've gotten a lot of commissions just from being here with all the wonderful people out there. People have reached out. I do it all. I can do people, I can do animals, whatever you want. I can work in any medium. I'm well trained.
Yes, he's
If
well
I say
trained.
say so myself, I'm not bad. Yeah. In fact, I have a video.
Oh,
right
I
now.
think
Jennifer Petunia emailed me. Okay, I'll look for it after the show. Thank you.
Didn't we just do this? We just answered her question. So
I think we did. Yeah. Warrior Priest Magic did lots of candle magic and stuff today, and June was most ever. Magic is real. Works. I know it does. Yeah. Donna Luna, 6139. My son is very talented. He works at a pharmaceutical company and cooks for everyone. He said head chef. He has his own unit. He's been wanting to write a cookbook and start a YouTube. Well, by all means, he should do that. By all means. I mean, we have to follow our bliss. I'm working on a set of Oracle cards right now that I've been designing for the last 2 years. I plan to publish. I think whatever's in your heart, go for it. Yeah. Well, go for it.
Yeah.
Imhurst, I've been having an acute grief reaction today with cardiac symptoms. I am exhausted. I'm not sure what is going on, but this is very painful. I don't believe it's a heart attack, but Whimsy, don't you think that should be checked?
Yeah, I think that we don't want to play with that. It could be you could be experiencing a panic attack. Definitely, we would want to check her heart. They might want to do a heart monitor. Also, things you can check right now is your blood pressure. But you don't want to play with that.
You don't play with things like that.
It could be a panic attack.
Could be. We've seen a lot of that lately. You saw me today. Okay. I found out that not all of my dad's assets are included in the family trust. And I asked him about that. And he said, yeah, that's correct. You can all fight over it after I'm gone. Such a coward. Wow. That's terrible. You can all fight over it after I'm gone. I mean, I know I've had people joke about that, like take a diamond ring and throw it in there.
That's because, people just feel when we get older, it's just kind of like people are just waiting for us to die. And we wonder, did you love me at all? And that's why we don't want to leave. I'm going through this with a certain somebody.
Fortunately, that happens a lot.
Yeah, I left everything to my certain someone. And now I'm thinking like, this person doesn't care about me. Why am I leaving everything to this person?
Right.
You just start to think like, what the fuck am I doing?
Sure. From Randy Dumel, 5870. My sister Janet died 20 years ago from cancer. Sorry. Anything she wants me to know?
All right, Janet, do you have a message for Randy? Well, the main thing that I get from Janet is that she is in a really good place. And, I don't know if Janet was a tomboy, but she presents as a tomboy on the other side. This is like Janet presents as one of the guys almost. Like Janet presents as being sporty, like liking sports and get up and go. And so it must have been very difficult for her to pass from something like cancer, because when I connect with Janet, I see it almost reminds me of that movie A League of Her Own, where they're all out there
Oh,
playing
yeah.
baseball. So when I go into Janet's energy, I feel like I got the cap. Throw that ball. Like that is me
Mm,
with Janet, and I got my bat. Let her go with the bat. So Janet presents to me as she was very much in her physical body. She was very much a fighter. This is, a bit of a tomboy. Like if you remember her as being feminine, that would be interesting, because she might have
mhm,
been feminine, but I also see her as like she's got all this Mars energy, wood and fire. And then here
mhm.
again, 7 of Wands, fighter, right? So she is, I would imagine that guys liked her a lot because she was one of the guys. But I
Yeah.
think that she also was somebody who had a lot of confusion towards the end. But how she presents now in the afterlife is that it is as somebody who was very much in life, very much in a league of her own, very
Mhm.
much this is somebody who's very much into life, very much in the world, in the physical world,
Mhm.
sports and
Mhm.
physical. And just to let you know that vibrant spirit lives on, and that's the
Yeah.
main message I get from her.
Well, I mean, it's so interesting because I got the life force card. She is very much a life force on the other side. She's happy, she's in celebration, in unconditional love on the other side. So basically, she's saying to you, don't worry about her. She's doing fantastic. As you pointed out, she's in her authenticity right now, but she's a life force. But what I found interesting, a message for you, this just jumped out, physical body. Like maybe she's saying to you, maybe just get a checkup, look at something, just make sure everything is okay. She's also telling you, self control, discipline, take time out for yourself, uh, listen, usually, like I got this similar card earlier, imagination, creativity, epiphany. She'd love to talk to you, develop those skills more. She'll come to you. And she's also feeling like wherever you are right now, keep going. You've got new life ahead of you. You got lots of possibilities still ahead. And she'd love to even channel to you and guide you and help you with this. That's what I'm feeling. But she's
Hmm.
very enthusiastic, passionate. I like that life
Hmm.
force energy.
Yeah, me too. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to do one more reading and
Uh,
then we will close today. I know that Chuck is starting to get that I can feel when you're like ready to hit your stride, because we've been here almost 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, yeah, but it's been fun because we've
Oh,
gotten
it's
to
fun.
know
I love
everybody.
doing this. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor.
Oh, yeah.
It's an
Okay,
honor.
let's see here. Oh, sorry about that.
Randy Domel, 5870. I had one in bed in 2016 when he was elected, and I had just broken my shoulder 2 days before. I knew it was going to be very bad for him, and I felt blindsided. Never thought he'd win. Is
Oh,
this referring to Trump?
panic attack. Yeah.
Panic attack. Trump. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I think a lot of us had panic attacks election night,
Yeah,
2016.
I just felt like I just was done.
Oh my God. I remember that night. I was so convinced Hillary was going to win. I even had a little tiny bottle of champagne in my fridge
See,
and
I
some hors
didn't think
d'oeuvres.
Harris was going to win. I had a bad feeling, and then
Mhm.
people like, she's going to win, and it's just like, man, you guys, because I was like the one reader who said, I've been looking at this energy. It
I
showed
know.
it showed her winning,
Mhm.
and then something happened
I remember.
with Elon Musk, and
Yes.
I started to feel this weird
Oh, I remember that.
move.
I think you called me that Sunday and we talked about
Yeah, and
this.
I went on the air and I said, when I
Yeah.
started looking at how the energy was shifting, and I said,
Yeah.
you guys, I think he could win this thing. And
Yeah.
people yelled at me, they
Oh,
unsubscribed,
sure.
and people
Sure.
no, they needed to believe that Harris was going to win, and
Yeah.
it was really
We had a real
difficult.
quandary
It was
about that.
difficult to tell the truth because
Yeah.
people did
Yeah.
not want me to say that.
Because we always want to tell the truth on here, and sometimes it's not what people want to hear. But
Yeah, and people were like, I said if women go out and vote, I said, relax, get out
yeah.
the vote, and she will win. Well, people didn't get out the vote. Young people clicked off. Young people
Yeah.
got disconnected. And the other thing is that young people are not woke. A lot of young people are not
Mhm.
woke. A lot of young people are not Democrats. A lot
Mhm.
of them are think that they're going to be the next Elon Musk. They float around on X
Mhm.
thinking that they're going to be the next billionaire,
Yeah.
and or they're gonna be rich like Donald Trump. So we can't assume
Yeah.
that just because somebody's young, they're going to vote for Harris.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to emphasize again, and I said this earlier, when we read, we're reading the energy of the moment. And sometimes it can shift just a few days later, because we were getting that for the longest time that Harris was going to win. And then the tide started shifting. And remember that conversation we had, like, how do we break this to the people? Because it was definitely turning towards Trump. I think that happened to a lot of intuitives who were picking up on that. Maybe they didn't want to trust that the energy had shifted.
Yeah, about 2.5 months prior to the election, I started getting a bad feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like 3 days.
And the night of the election, the day of the election, I felt like I was being raped.
Yeah.
I felt like somebody was forcing it into me, like and
Yeah.
holding me down, and I felt like Musk had raped the country. I mean, I literally
Yes.
felt like I was being raped by Elon Musk. It was like it was a real, and it went on. Actually, it was a couple days before the election. Like something was being done energetic to, like, he was going to force it, and
it was being forced.
and I don't know if
with
anybody
illness.
else had that weird energy coming.
Oh, we did. We
You
did.
felt it too, like it was
Almost everyone I have spoken to has said this.
that they actually physically felt, because I physically felt like, as a psychic, when I would go into it, I physically felt like I was trying to get somebody off of me.
Yeah, it felt evil.
Yeah.
Dark, evil, or shadow.
Well, I think that he's a very aggressive person, and I think that he's accomplished a lot of what he's accomplished because you don't say no to him. He will force it. And that's what he will not take no for an answer. And he had his agenda. He felt like he couldn't work with Biden and with Harris on various different things he was working on. And he felt like he was going to force this down. I'm going to force it in. And that it really had a rape energy to it. I mean, there's just no other way to describe it. I am a remote viewer, and this is my gig. This is what I'm paid to do. And I can tell you, I did not enjoy the 3 days prior to, and I didn't enjoy having to go before the camera and trying to calm people down when I'm feeling like I think he's going to win this thing.
We talked about that. It was
horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible. And well, then how come all the other readers say that Harris is going to, how come what are you trying? Like, and then they would attack me, and then he won. And it was just like,
if you saw a lot of those readers on YouTube the day after the election, there were a lot of people eating crow, so to speak. A lot of people being humiliated.
On the one hand, I was trying to give people hope, and on the one hand, I was in a very bad situation to be placed in. To be honest with you guys, I hated it.
It's a responsibility what we do when we're in front of the public like this, and sometimes it is hard. It is hard, and sometimes, I think I said earlier, I so wanted to give this person good news, but I wasn't getting it. It hurts. It hurts when you have to be the bearer of bad news, and then you hope that you're telling it in a responsible way and just saying, this is based on the energy of the moment. And it can always shift. Let's see.
Okay, so you read this already?
Yeah. It's interesting. I got the family card coming up, and I got that she's telling you that you need to take a role of leadership with your family. I was trying to find something specific here, but all I was getting was there needs to be some sort of peace and some sort of balance in the family, and you as a leadership can help lead this in your family.
You're talking about this question right here,
right here,
Kathy.
Yeah, that's what I was getting, and I probably should pull some more cards on this, but that's what I got initially. What did you get, Whimsy?
I get that when I go into Lorraine's energy, a sense of confusion, like to some extent she was lost, that she got a little lost. after her sister's passing. This is her being lost, and this is her sister. So in a way, her sister felt bad. Kathy felt bad about leaving Lorraine. It was almost like I feel bad that I'm leaving you in this situation.
Okay.
So there was this, yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but if I may ask a question, do you think maybe this leadership card is her saying, "You're strong, take charge"?
I don't know, but I
Yeah.
know that Lorraine came as confused, and her sister is this loving person who almost feels bad about leaving. And look at the pain over Lorraine, over the loss. And this was really a relationship where they were so connected. They were two bugs in a rug that it became kind of difficult to, what can I become attached to now that my sister is gone? You know, that's what it feels like. And so, you know, how do I go on now that she is gone? And what do I have to cling to now that she is gone? And they, you know, what your sister wants you to know is that you have a lot of love to give in the world, and that you two were very, very close. And so as a result of that, when that relationship ended, you didn't know what to do with yourself. And so what they're saying to you is you don't attach, take that love and that attachment, like, I don't know what to do with myself now that you're gone. What do I attach to? And they're saying that she wants you to love many things, to love many people. That's what you do with it. And it won't take away from the friendship we had. But because she did have almost a codependent relationship with her sister, but she's got this beautiful star coming to her. And I think that what Kathy wants from you is for you to continue to love and to care, save the animals. The animals are so vulnerable, and they're crying out for human help. And so the more we can do in terms of, there's so many things we can love. We can love and save animals. So many missions that you can be on. That will be a testimony to your love of Kathy by going out and saving the world.
I'm thinking now that maybe that's what the family card meant the sister, Kathy. It meant that, and to make peace, to find balance and make peace with that. And the leadership card, somebody going up the ladder with the light. Take your gifts out into the world. Take what you have. Take charge. You're strong. That's what that helps to elaborate on that. Why I got those cards.
Wow, Chuck, this was a really beautiful day today. I'm so glad you could send it with me. So
thank you for having me, Whimsy.
Yeah, absolutely, always. So let us know what you want to see from the channel. What I'm hearing is that you'd like to have more spirituality, but you still feel that you do want to have the political tarot. That's what the feedback we're getting today, Chuck, is that they do want to bring back some of the stuff.
I think we can present it in a way that maybe it's more uplifting. It's challenging, but I think we can do that.
Is that going to work?
Where we give people hope. Let us know. You know, what do we keep on the menu? What do we take off?
And I think it goes back to so a lot of what people are feeling, a lot of the anxiety that people are feeling right now about the United States, that maybe if we could address these things a little bit in our readings and bring it back, but bring it back with a sense that it's not going to be all of what we do. We still want to focus on the healing stuff, but we will bring back some of the political stuff just because people want to talk about it.
I think we can balance it out where we're not going to feel so icky like we used to.
Because it was that whole,
ick. Ick is a good way of looking at it. Just a lot of toxicity.
All right, Chuck. So if people want to go into session with you, how do they reach you?
Oh, and I love doing sessions with people. This is my passion, my love. The more I do this, the more I love it. It's just dransfieldchuck@gmail.com. And as I said earlier, I can also do beautiful artwork for you. And I'm posting more on my channel. I posted my channeled reading from Amelia Earhart. She had
that was really good. I just
did you like that?
I watched it last night.
Oh, good. Did you see? Like it?
And I like the way you went to the island. Like, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go there with you. Like,
she was a little ambiguous on that. She didn't quite want to give away all of her secrets, but then she was like, okay, this is what happened. But I was rather surprised that she kind of likes the enigma, the little puzzle she left us with, you know. But I have my channeled reading posting. I also have a video on how I created this portrait of Amelia Earhart.
Oh my God, she
So
is like
that's-
alive in that picture.
Well, that's how I work. I channel a person's soul, and you can see it in the eyes. This is what I love to do for people. I can take your photograph and I can almost always get a really good message from the person. So I have that. I have my channeled reading from Marilyn Monroe on her 100th birthday. And boy, did Marilyn have a lot to say.
Oh my God, I watched that one also last night. And
Yeah.
boy, let me tell you, you really captured that defiance in that picture.
She was strong.
Well,
She
yeah,
was no
what
victim.
she was like, don't feel sorry for me, honey. And
Yeah.
also she was like, you know, if you think that I was weak, you don't know me.
Oh, she
Kind
was
of a
tough.
thing.
You know,
Yeah.
you and I have both lived in Hollywood. We
Yeah, I
know.
saw both your videos last night and I
Thank
enjoyed it very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But we know to survive in this town, you got to be tough and to get to the top, because she was the #1 box office draw. She went to the top and she stayed there for several years. She had to be tough. And that's what she was saying to me in her message. So anyway, that's what I have on my channel. Check it out. And I'd love to hear from you. And Whimsy, tell us about you.
All right. So
my
I
cat
am
tries to-
Dr. Whimsy extraordinaire, and there is the kitty cat who hi, I love you so much. I felt your heartache and you thought your life was over. And what have
Oh.
I done to drive him away? It was horrible remote viewing your cat. I'm so glad you got home.
Well, she's
Yeah,
happy now.
so I am a remote viewer and a naturopathic doctor. If you need to see me for general health general health coaching, you can book me through Booksy. All the information on how to connect with me is below this video. And of course, I'm here always at the Oracle of Whimsy. All right, we are out of here. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We will see you next time, everyone.
See you next Tuesday. Love you.
Bye. Bye,
Goodbye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.